Hello everyone, this is Laura Myers for CMS-Connected. You may have seen last week Alfresco unveiled their new digital business platform, which also happened to be the biggest rollout in the company's history. It's the only solution to deliver customizable, content-rich digital process automation. So, to hear more about why it's different than any other solution like it on the market, I'm speaking with Chris Wiborg, the Vice President of Product Marketing at Alfresco. How's it going, Chris? I'm glad you could join us today.
Hey, Laura. Great. Really glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you. Alfresco recently announced a new digital business platform. How do you define digital business, and what sparked the need for the platform?
Let's start with what sparked the need for it. The concept really for the platform arose in response to our customers and their emerging requirements around accelerating solution delivery. I think everybody these days feels the competitive landscape is moving faster than ever before, and our platform is designed to address this need for speed that they have. So when it comes to solutions delivering involving content, process, information governance, we wanted to move from where we had been, which is sort of a product mindset, and move to a platform focus, primarily really by opening up our underlying services through a set of robust RESTful APIs. So I think if you think about the evolution of the content management market at a macro level, there have been a couple important milestones along the way. Phase one, I think, is maybe ancient history for a lot of folks, but it's this concept of digitalization. How do you move from the analog world to getting things in digital format, whether that's scanning and ingesting paper documents, which a lot of people still do. There's still a big need for that. Or maybe it's creating electronic forms that people go and they fill in things that way online as opposed to how they used to do it. So that's sort of step one. And actually, that milestone gave rise, if you think about it, to the ECM market, the traditional ECM market, in the sense that, hey, you have all these digital documents. Now what do you do with them? How do you organize them, put them together, and really manage and get the value out of them? So that was sort of phase one. I think phase two was when people said, great, we have all this information now. How do we put it in context? And often what that means is you're putting it in the context of a process, or be able to serve up the right content at the right time. And really that's used to be initially done, I think, in sort of closed proprietary applications, right? Within an SAP or Oracle circa late 1980s, that process was baked in. But along the way, somebody said, hey, we've got one of those, and we've got one of these, and we've got one of these other things. How do we do that across these applications? And that sort of gave rise to the business process management market. And so, when we stepped back and looked at what our customers wanted and what they were doing, we thought, let's combine those things together, because I had a customer that said the other day, it was great. He said, there is no content without workflow in the world that I live in. And there's actually, no workflow without content. So it's kind of like chocolate and peanut butter, right? They need to go together. And that's exactly what we've done here. And then to the point about really that platform thinking, how do we start to open it up so it's less about a closed proprietary solution that it is something that someone might incorporate into something that they're building for digital business, into pursuit of really, which for me is the third milestone we're approaching now, this quest for digital transformation, right? You hear everybody talk about that these days. I'll be the first to say, as a vendor, right, full disclosure, like, you can't buy digital transformation off a shelf. It's a business strategy. So how can you leverage what we've done with our platform around content, process, governance, exposed for digital business, and consume that in your pursuit and your journey towards digital transformation? That's kind of how we got here.
I really like how you explain digital transformation there, because we hear it so much, and I sometimes find I get the thought of, aren't we there yet? But even though it does sometimes seem a bit drawn out, you do make a great point that it is very complex. There are definitely layers to it, and phrasing it as a strategy and not just a product on the shelf really lends to that idea.
No, that's absolutely right. I mean, back to those three milestones I gave you, we did a survey not so long ago with the guys at Forrester. And they got back survey results, and it was like 43% of people have started down the path towards digitization. And I was like, wait a minute, isn't that 100? And I think the answer is no. There's a lot of pockets where that hasn't happened, particularly if you look globally. And then I think beyond that, there are a lot of companies where they've done that, but in pockets and not holistically. I mean, think about it. You as a consumer, open up a new commercial loan with a bank, or as a patient going to the hospital. Depending where you go, there's still a lot of paper these days. So I don't think that phase is complete, but it's underway for sure, right? And I think for those very forward-leaning companies, that may all be in the rearview mirror, but not across the board.
I've had that thought for the past few years about how much paper I still receive from businesses as a consumer. With all the advances we have, I feel like I still get a novella for a receipt if I buy furniture or an apple. My next question though, Chris, does this all mean Alfresco is moving away from categorizing itself as an ECM company?
It's a great question. I certainly wouldn't say we've gotten out of that business, but I think it's more that the market itself has evolved and shifted. I think when most people hear the acronym ECM, they like flinch and think of this inflexible, centralized document repository that folks in IT used to force them to use to check in and check out documents, right? Dating back to the days when ECM was more of a standalone proprietary packaged application. And I think these days, right, what our customers are wanting are more ways to incorporate content services into different experiences that they're in the process of building, which just calls for a completely different approach. And even the top analysts that we talking about ECM and having a quadrant or a wave or what have you around ECM and that market to more talking about content services as well as process services that can be integrated into more bespoke solutions that people are building.
And what would you say are the top 3 features of the platform?
Yeah, it's a great question. I could give you a list of like a gazillion features, but apart from features, let me step back and talk about sort of 3 big elements that we focused on in what we're doing and what we announced this past week. Is really the platform was built from the ground up to accelerate this digital transformation journey, and it gives you 3 things. Number one, a core set of processes around content, process, and governance, right? So that's sort of the core competency that Alfresco as a company has always had. We want to take those functions and expose them, and that leads to part number 2. So you got the core services, and then the part on top of that is an application development framework where we give you open APIs to be able to invoke and consume those services and applications that you're building. Along with that, we have a lot of pre-built integrations into user-facing apps that people may have today, whether it's Office 365 or G Suite or Salesforce, right? So you can work with content directly from there and not necessarily in a fixed UX that we give you, although we do have an out-of-the-box piece. And then we also give you a set of pre-built UX components based upon Angular 2 and leveraging Google Material Design. So if you want to build your own, really engaging user interfaces that are responsive as you move from a desktop format on your screen to an iPhone or a tablet mobile device, we take a lot of that work off the table for you. So the thinking behind that application development framework, again, and this need for speed is like, let's take the development time down from months to weeks as you build an app by helping you along there. And sort of the third component then is let's go to the full stack, right? So we've got core services, we've got what you have to design things, and then the third piece is how to optimize deployment. And so in addition to the best practice deployment guides we always have, we're really happy to be one of the, I think it's about 46 different vendors out there working closely with Amazon to put together an Amazon Quick Start that you can find actually in their catalog as well as off of our website, where you can build a full production environment into which you can deploy what Alfresco does. Instead of the days or maybe even weeks it takes to like procure some stuff, put your data center, set it up, 42 minutes roughly. Click a button. For those of you that are really familiar with what Amazon does with S3 and so on, same idea. It's just a click, the environment's set, ready to go. If you have a license from us, drop in Alfresco and away you go. So again, combine those elements together, build it quickly around a set of core services, deploy it quickly. We're rapidly shrinking down the amount of time it takes to get to value from what we give you out of the box.
Time to value is a broad concern, so that's a really great thing to focus on. To jump to cloud for a minute, Box just announced record revenue thanks to cloud content services. Are more of your customers adopting the cloud, and if so, what are the benefits?
Yeah, so first and foremost, absolutely. I mean, I think you're seeing the whole industry these days move towards cloud. But let me break down that question a little bit, because cloud, as you know, can mean different things to different people, right? So I think when it comes to what we do around process and content, many of the customers we work with have different types of information, right? They have some that they want to share publicly. They have others that are more company confidential, and then some that's maybe even like top secret. Say, plans for new products they're designing, or maybe merger and acquisition information, and even some companies that are big cloud companies that you would have heard of, like, don't want to put that in the cloud. And so what cloud solves for, I think, really, really well, is easily sharing information across corporate boundaries, right? Because if you put it out there, it's depending on how things are configured, it's kind of outside the firewall, potentially easy to get to. You can put some permissions on it and secure it at some level. But with all the cybersecurity conversation, not just within tech, but in the broader global media content these days, there's a pretty high sensitivity around that for some. And so what we aim for on that front is we kind of give ideally the best of both worlds, a hybrid mode where you can keep the stuff that's really secret behind your firewall within your organization in an internal deployment, and then you can synchronize that to an instance that is out in the cloud and do the sharing of the type of content you want to there, whether that's with customers or maybe vendors or partners or even internal employees, right, that are running around with mobile devices and that's their primary need for accessing outside the firewall. We want to be able to do that too. So that's sort of like one flavor of cloud, which is where does the information go? Where is it stored? And that's what we see is it's not an all size fits, one size fits all answer there. And so, we say, yes, cloud, it's happening, but maybe not everybody's totally there yet in the market. Number two flavor of cloud is what I was talking about before in referring to what we're doing with Amazon. We do have a lot of customers. In fact, just a couple weeks back in New York City, and out of the four that presented there, I think three of them were all customers that, for one reason or another, had made the decision to move their infrastructure outsource to Amazon, right? In fact, one said, yeah, our new CIO came in, and I think he was new because the old guy didn't get it. And he came in and said, like, guys, I have a mandate by 2020, all of our infrastructure needs to be in the cloud. And so, they're rapidly moving that direction anyway. And it goes back again to that, like, I want to, one of the reasons is like, let's spin it up quickly and be able to change, in this world of, agile and DevOps all combined together, there's value in that approach. And so we see a huge opportunity for what we're doing there, because if our customers are already moving there, and then we can quickly deploy into that instance where they own and maintain themselves. The nice thing about that approach is one of the tough things about cloud. Let's take a SaaS example, like a pure SaaS play. It has some real benefits in terms of, like, I just take out my credit card and I get there. But when I want to start to customize it and extend it and integrate it in my own IT environment, I can't really do that because it's just a SaaS offering, right? And what I give to one company is exactly what I give to another. That's the SaaS model, the SaaS mindset. So again, this is for us sort of a best of both worlds. Yeah, we can help our customers move to the cloud and get the benefits of being out there and quickly deploying and all that, but still allow them to do the bespoke tailoring to create differentiation in their applications and solutions they build through the services we provide. And so I think that model is, you're going to see that just take off for us in this next year. And we're really excited about that and our partnership with Amazon in that regard.
That's a great answer, Chris. I always love to finish an interview with what's next. So you definitely read my mind on that one.
We're excited about the new release and all the good feedback we've gotten from customers, analysts, and the press so far.
Awesome. We're looking forward to covering the events of Alfresco as time moves on. That was Chris Wiborg, Vice President of Product Marketing at Alfresco, giving us the ins and outs of their recent release. For more details, dive into Venus's in-depth article, and for all the news in the world of digital business, stay tuned right here on CMS Connected.